Welcome to Tech Topics. My name is Stephanie and I'm an assistive technology and activity specialist with Future Insight. I hope that you'll like our channel, subscribe, and check back frequently for more content. Today is all about how to get started with Explorer on your Windows PC using Windows 10 or 11. I'm going to be demonstrating with my JAWS screen reader on so that people can hear what I'm doing as well as see what I'm doing if you have low vision. We're going to cover how to organize our files and folders, how to create a folder, delete a file, find out more information about files and folders, and also learn how to edit title names of folders and files, etc. So let's dive in. This is all about using Microsoft key commands. So whether you're using your low vision and you're still using a mouse part of the time, but perhaps you have some eye fatigue and you need to have a little bit of supplement, key commands can often be very beneficial and efficient, sometimes quite more quickly than the mouse commands. And then if you're using a screen reader, again, these keyboard commands will work whether you're using JAWS, NVDA, or Windows Narrator. So again, they're Microsoft key commands usable for all. First, what is Explorer? So Explorer is an area on your PC where you can organize and locate your folders and files. They are alphabetically listed by default from your folders on top, and those are alphabetical, and then your files below that also, then they are alphabetical. So a file is strictly something that could be a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint, etc., a single file. And then you can organize them into folders that make sense for your personal use on your system, such as you might have a folder titled recipes, and inside you might have single files with all the kinds of recipes you enjoy. Bacon and eggs casserole might be a file, or chicken pot pie might be a file, that sort of thing. You can even have a structure of subfolders. So for example, you could have a folder titled recipes, and then inside that folder, you could create 3 or how many you want subfolders. If we use 3, for example, we could have breakfast folder, lunch folder, and dinner folder. And then you could be even more organized and put all your breakfast recipes, such as bacon and eggs casserole, inside the breakfast folder. That would be one file in there. You might have cereal with yogurt in there, homemade yogurt, inside your breakfast folder, and have several files. Just each individual file would be in the breakfast folder. Same with lunch or dinner. You could put your chicken pot pie in your dinner folder as a single file inside there. So it can be structured however you wish it to make sense for you. So let's dig in. To enter Explorer, you would just hit your Windows key. If you press that Windows key, you can really type any application, and as it auto-populates, you can hit enter to open it. So I can also just push Windows E together and then hit enter, and Explorer will open. Okay? So then you're in your listing, as I mentioned, with folders on top by default, and then your files under that. Okay? And you would have, if you have folders, of course, you might have files inside the folders too. But let me just arrow down through this so you can hear some of what I have here. I'm just going to arrow down.
Creating new folders demo. 2 of 24.
Okay, here's something.
New folder. 3 of 24. Recipes. 4 of 24.
Okay. Now let's say you want to find out more about your recipes. I'm just going to slow my screen reader down a tad for people.
Slower. Slower.
All right. So I'm at my recipes folder, and if I arrow to the right on any folder or file, I would then hear the information for it. So I'm going to arrow right to the right of this recipes folder.
Date modified. 8/24/2025.
Okay, that's the date it was last modified, not the date you created it, but the date you last made some changes or updated, your folder or file. Going to arrow to the right again.
Type. File folder. 1.
It says type, file folder. So now, I knew it was a file folder, but here you have the affirmation. If you weren't sure, if you are going through a lot of folders and files, maybe some of them aren't yours, maybe you share a computer at work or with your family, then you'll know, oh, that's a folder. Okay. And then I'm going to arrow to the right again.
Size 1 of 1.
And it says size 1 of 1. I haven't entered anything into my recipes folder, so there's no real space being taken up about it. So I'm going to arrow back to the left on the folder name.
Type, date modified, recipes.
Okay, there's recipes. Let's arrow down into something else.
Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook and changing default font and style settings in Outlook.
All right.
5 of 20.
Let's see what this is. I'm going to arrow to the right.
Date modified. 8/25/20.
Okay, it was last modified today. I made a change in that today. All right, I'm going to arrow to the right again, or at least the date I'm recording this. So I'm going to arrow to the right again.
Type. Microsoft Word document.
Okay, that's a Word document. And then if I arrow to the right again.
Size. 19 KB.
So that took 19 kilobytes, that file size. All right. So I'm going to arrow back to the left onto the file name.
Type. Date modif. Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook.
All right, there it is. It's a long title, but it makes sense to me. All right, so there you can find your information. Now let's talk about how to edit a folder or file name so you can have it make sense to you. As you're organizing, you might say, gee, I'd rather change the name of this to something that makes more relevance for when I'm perusing through my folders and files. So I'm going to, first of all, to go to the top of my listing, I can just do a Control Home. Keyboard Command again for all. I can press the Control key, hold it down, press the Home key, and then release both. All right, I'm going to do that.
Not selected.
All right,
Banana.
so
1 of 24.
we're at the top. Okay. And let's see what we've got.
Creating new. Banana.
Banana.
1 of.
All right, that's banana. That's a folder. If I wanted to go to the very end, I could do a Control End. So I'll do that now. Control key plus the End key.
Not selected. Windows key commands.
All right, that's the last file on my list here. Okay, so you're going to discover as you dig into some of the Windows tutorials using keyboard commands with Microsoft that some things will carry over. For example, this Control Home to go to the top and Control End to go to the end is exactly what you could do whether you're in this list in Explorer, whether you're in a list of your emails, whether you're inside an email and you want to go to the very top of the email, or maybe you want to go to the very bottom, whether you're in a Word document and you want to go to the top or the bottom of that Word document, or a website. Maybe you're at the top of the website or you want to go to the bottom of the website. So you'll start to discover that you can use these commands in many circumstances. All right, so we are going to go back to the top just to make sure. Control Home.
Banana.
All right, we're on banana. That's a folder. So if I want to work with just this name of this folder, I can press F2, the F2 key, and that brings up a little edit field, a little box where I can just work with this banana. I'm going to press F2.
F2. Edit. Banana. Type in text.
All right, so now if I arrow up or down, I'm going to arrow down.
Banana. Banana.
All right, I arrowed down a bunch. All you hear is banana. I'm going to arrow up.
Banana.
Okay, I arrowed up a bunch, and all you hear is banana because this F2 brings up this little tiny little box area that you're only editing this folder name. Okay, so now I could change the name entirely. I could add an S, make it bananas. I could do whatever I want here. So let me get to the end of the word banana, and you're going to treat it a little bit like how you might navigate Microsoft Word.
N-A blank.
Okay, I went to the very end, blank, blank. I'm going to go back one.
A.
All right, there's the A. I'm going to erase banana. I hit my backspace key to erase the word banana, one letter at a time.
A-N-A-N-A-B.
All right, banana's gone. And maybe I want to call it apple. So I'm going to write the word apple.
A-P-P-L-E.
All right, and if I want to make the change, I press enter, and then it's going to take me right back to my list of folders and files in Explorer, but now banana is called apple. So I'm going to hit enter.
Enter.
All right, and now we're going to arrow down,
Creating new
and now I'm going to arrow back up on what used to be banana,
apple.
and now that's
1 of
apple.
24.
Okay, that's apple. So that's as easy as pie, haha, to make your banana or apple pie and make the change, and hit F2, work with it, and then hit enter. Now, I'm going to do one more thing. So what if I want to make more changes? I'm going to hit F2.
F2. Edit.
And
Apple.
yeah, I'm in that.
Type in text.
I can only work with this apple word now, this folder name. And I'm going to arrow to the right.
Blank.
Okay, and now I'm going to backspace and get rid of the word apple.
E. L. P. P. A.
Maybe I want to change it to banana.
B. A. N. N. A.
I'd rather have it be back to banana. Maybe. If you pressed enter, I would make that change and I would be returned back to my list of folders and files, and that folder would be called banana again. But what if I say, no, oops, I didn't really want to do that. I didn't mean to make the change on this folder or this file. I don't want to call it that. If you don't want to make the changes that you've typed, you just hit escape.
Escape. Items view multi-select list box. Apple.
Okay, and it's still called apple. It did not take the change. Okay, now let's talk about creating a new folder. Okay, let's create a new folder. To create one, you can simply press Control-Shift-N, like Nancy, Control-Shift-N. So I have to hold Control, hold Shift, press N along with it, and then release. So all three of these have to be pressed. Control-Shift, hit the letter N.
Control-Shift-N.
Okay, then we wait.
New folder left paren to right paren.
All right,
Type in text.
so now we can give this a name. All right, let's call this folder sports.
S-P-O-R-T.
All right, so I typed sports, and I'm going to hit enter.
Enter. Items view multi-select list box.
All right,
New folder
so
left paren to
I'm
right
in
paren.
my,
8/25
all I do is type sports. Yeah, all I do is type sports and hit enter. Now I can arrow up and down and hear all of my folders and files again.
Recipes. Sports.
There's sports, right?
5
So
of
let's go to the very top of the control home.
Not selected.
I'm going to give you the lay of the land here. All right, so we have
Creating. Apple.
Apple is first.
Creating new folders demo. New folder. 3 of 20. Recipes. Sports.
Okay.
5 of 25. Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook.
Did you notice that it went from A for Apple, C create, N new folder, R recipes, S sports, and then it went back down to A again for
Add Gmail or Yahoo to
add Gmail or Yahoo. And then I arrow down.
Attendance and grades. Budget for my dog.
See? So it put sports in the proper order in the folders, and then you could see how after the folders it dropped back alphabetically again with files. Now let's move something into sports. All right, we have a folder. I want to move something in there. All right, I'm going to move
Attendant. Budget for my dog.
budget for my dog, okay? So you land on what you want to move. We have to talk about the difference, what is highlighting or selecting. They're really the same thing. For people who use low vision or vision, they would say they highlighted something, right? And if you're using a screen reader such as JAWS, NVDA, or Narrator, you say you selected something. It's really the same thing. You're just highlighting or selecting it. So I'm going to land on the budget for my dog again.
Budget for my dog. 8 of 25.
And I am going to, it's already selected or highlighted in this instance because it's where I am on the list. All right, so where you are on that list becomes highlighted. So I'm just going to talk about some keys at the bottom. We have 4 keys at the very bottom, your alphabet. well, one up from the spacebar row, that last row of letters, characters. So in your lower left of your character, your alphabet column, you have Z, X, C, V. From left to right, Z, X, C, V. And if you put the control key with either of those keys, any of those keys, you're going to be able to do different functions. And let's talk about those. So if I did a control C, I would copy this budget for my dog folder, a file, excuse me. So I think of the C as like, well, C for copy, or a copyright little symbol with a C. So control C is copy. I would copy it. I would still have, a copy here, and wherever I place it, it would still exist in the original spot as well as move to the new spot. If I press Control X, okay, I would cut it. And so the X, to me, you think about scissors and how they kind of crisscross as they cut. So you could kind of use that visual. So Control X to cut, and then a Control V would paste it wherever you're moving it, right? So cut would no longer be in the original spot. It would only be in the new spot where you put it. As opposed to a copy, it would be in both. If I do a Control V, like Victor, then that V would paste it to that new spot. It would put it where I tell it to go. And the V, you could think of the bottles of glue, not a glue stick, but the bottle, squeeze bottle, and you tip it upside down, and it has that little pointy cap that's pointing down. It almost looks like a V. So you could think of that for paste, Control V. And finally, we have Control Z, and Z looks kind of like a zigzag. You think zigzag, or it goes back and forth, like you're scrubbing. So that erases the last task that you did. Okay, so you can undo a task. So I'm on budget for my dog. I'm going to first copy it. So I'll do a Control C. I hit Control and then press C and then release both.
Copied.
And then we're going to move it somewhere. So I'm going to arrow up to sports.
Attendance and add Gmail. Sports.
There's sports. I'm going to hit enter. I got to open that sports folder.
Enter. To move to an item, press.
All right, now I can press Control V to paste it here.
Pasted. Items view multi-select list box. Budget for my dog. 7/30/2025 10:29 a.m. Microsoft Excel worksheet 10 KB. 1 of 1.
Okay, it told me a lot of information just as I pasted it. It told me it was a worksheet and when it was last modified, etc. And it's 1 of 1. So now it's one file that I put inside sports. I only have one file, 1 of 1. Now let's go back a layer. I'm going to hit the backspace button, and we're going to go back out of sports, back into the listing of folders and files.
Summer course dash.
And now let's arrow down. We should still hear budget for my dog, because remember I copied it. I didn't cut it.
Add Gmail or attendance and grades. Budget for my dog.
All right, there it is.
20.
It's still there. Now let's cut something. Let's cut the adding Gmail and Yahoo. I'm going to arrow up to that file.
Attendance. Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook and changing default font and style settings in Outlook.
All right, so that's a long title name, but there it is. So I'm going to this time cut this one. So I'm going to do a Control X. All right, press Control, then hit X, and then release both. Control X.
Cut.
All right, now I'm going to move that to sports. I'm going to arrow up.
Sports.
I have to open the folder.
Enter.
All right, I pressed enter to open it. And now I'm going to paste it in here. Now it will no longer be in the original spot in the listing of the main Explorer folders and files, but only in sports. So I'm going to do a Control V to paste it.
Pasted. Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook and changing default font and style settings in Outlook. 2 of 2.
All right, now we know there's two files. Remember, because we already put the budget for my dog.
Budget for my dog. 2 of 2.
There we go, budget for my dog.
Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook.
And it will put things alphabetically when you move things to new folders as well. All right, so now let's go back to the main listing. I'm gonna hit the backspace button and we're gonna go back to Explorer, the main
Shell
list.
folder view. Summer.
Now we should be able to arrow down and the adding Gmail and Yahoo should be gone. Let's start up a hair here.
Recipes.
All right, so we're gonna arrow down through this list.
Sports. Attendance and grades for
Notice it skipped right over it. It's not there anymore. It's only in sports. It's inside that folder. Well, maybe I don't want to do that. I changed my mind. That doesn't really fit that category. I want to undo this last task. So I'm going to do that Control Z, right, to scrub it out. I want to undo that last task. So press Control Z.
Undo.
All right, so now the adding Gmail and Yahoo should be back in my main list and no longer in sports. Let's arrow up.
Add Gmail or Yahoo to
There it is. Let's make sure we're below sports.
Sports.
There's the sports folder.
Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook and attendance.
And now you see it in the listing in the main Explorer list here. All right, I could do the scrub gesture, the undo gesture again. I'm going to do Control Z.
Undo.
And now my budget everything should be back to the way it was, basically. Let's arrow up to sports.
Add Gmail, sports.
And we're going to arrow down.
Add Gmail, attendance, budget for...
Everything is back to the original scenario. Okay, so that's how you can cut, copy, and paste and undo last task with arranging your folders and files. And we know how to create that new folder to put things in. And we know how to edit the title name. Let's just talk about one more thing, deleting. You might say, how do I delete a folder or file? Well, let's delete, what do we want to delete? We can delete the budget for my dog.
Attendance, budget for my dog.
All right, budget for my dog. I want to delete it. All right, I'm going to just hit Control D.
Control D. Not selected.
And now it's gone. So if I arrow up,
attendance and grades for essential digital underline.
it went right past it. Went from attendance and grades down to digital. So it skipped B for budget for my dog. It's not there anymore. I deleted it. But what if I want it back? Again, what can I do? I can undo the last task. And I can do a Control Z.
Undo.
All right, so now let me arrow up.
Not selected budget for my dog.
And there it is. Let's just hear the...
Attendance and grades. Budget for my dog. Digital underline signature.
All right, so there it is. It went from the A to the B for budget for my dog, and then the D. It's back. Okay, and if you are deleting a folder,
budget.
I'm going to arrow up to...
attendance and add Gmail or Yahoo.
Let's
sports.
pretend...
5 of 25.
Let's see if we have anything in sports still. I might have budget in there, I don't recall. I'm going to hit enter.
Enter. Shell folder view. Sports. Items view list box. 0 items.
0 items. Let's put
Summer
something...
sports.
I don't want to delete anything
Add
too
Gmail.
important. Let's put budget back in there.
Attendance. Budget for my
We're
dog.
going to put budget for my dog back in there.
Budget.
So I would do a Control C to copy it.
Copied.
Arrow up to sports.
Attendant. Add Gmail. Sports.
Open up sports with enter.
Enter.
All right,
Items
now
view
press Control V to paste it.
pasted. Items view multi-select list box. Budget for my dog.
Okay,
7/
that's in there. Let's go back out of sports to the main list of all our folders and files.
Shell folder.
All right, now we're going to make sure we're landed on it so it's highlighted
Recipe.
or selected.
Sports.
So we're on sports, it's highlighted or selected, same thing. Now I wanted to show you what happens when I try to delete a folder that has something in it. So I'm going to do a Control D.
Control D. Not selected. Add Gmail or Yahoo to Outlook and changing default font and style settings in Outlook. 5 of 24.
Okay. It's gone. What happened to the folder that was in it?
Recipes.
The file that was in it, sorry.
Add Gmail or Yahoo. Attendance and budget for my dog.
Well, I already copied that, so that's still there. But it's gone. Like, everything is just gone. Okay, so be careful. If you have a lot of files in some folders, it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete this folder with all its contents? And it may ask you that the more files you have in there. Okay, but I want to undo this. I want my sports folder back. So if you make a mistake and you accidentally delete something, you can undo the last task with Control Z.
Undo.
And now let's see if our sports folder is there. I'm going to arrow up.
Not selected attendance and add Gmail or sports.
And there it is. Thank goodness, right? You say to yourself. Yeah. So again, just be careful though, because sometimes you can only go so far back with Control Z and it might not do it anymore. So I wouldn't recommend doing too many tasks and then trying to take away, take away the one before that, and the one before that, one before that. You want to kind of manage it as you go, just in case it no longer will, undo previous task after previous task. Okay. All right. So I hope that you have understood that we can now go through our list, go to the top, go to the bottom. We can create new folders. We can cut, copy, and paste. We can undo last task, as well as edit the title, name of a folder or file, and delete folders and files. I hope that you will spend time in arranging your Explorer to make it a meaningful experience for you on your PC. Thanks for joining this tech topic, and I look forward to more.